Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Dragonheir Silent Gods video. In today's video, I'm going to show you my team to beat the Grave of Curse Challenge 4 of Season 3 because it just opened today and I actually managed to do it with level 79 heroes only, right? This is going to be the team, so let me just show you everything about this as it's a really fun one. Now, before I jump in the video, as always, I do want to mention that if you want to support me as a content creator and get some free stuff while you're at it, you can use code ODD1 that you see over there at the top, capital O's, pretty much use the link in the description or pinned comment, takes you to a page. You put that code, it's gonna ask you to log into the game account, right, from this game. Once you do that, select your character, and then as soon as you click bind or whatever it says, you will get your rewards instantly. That appears over there to collect, which is going to be 10 starlight dice, some gold, and some other stuff. But then also, once you hit levels, I think it's 20, 50, and 100, you're going to get yourself a lot more ward marrow and a healer light dice. So, you know, costs you nothing, helps you a ton, and pretty much the way it works is if you decide to spend, I get like 2% out of that. But I never encourage people to spend. So even if you're free to play, support me and get yourself the free stuff. But this team against the Blood Prince Xenos is a pretty standard, pretty par for the course, right? It's using Vinyara, it's using Ogok, and then the 3 Ice Blast people. Now, my previous video I kind of made on the stage 20 of the Grave of Curse, I was using Cinorel, he was Inspired 5, I think I did with Inspired 0, but then there were a lot of people that said, well, I don't have Cinorel, what do I do? Even though I said in that video, I'm gonna say it again, you don't need Cinorel, right? Could have brought him, I have Inspired 5, you don't need him. You can just use Ogok instead, right? If you don't have Ogok, then you can try and use Zephy, right? Just make sure you time Zephy's invincibility to happen before the ultimate, and this should still work just fine. But this team, I'm actually using the accuracy aura from Vinyara, even though I have the 50 accuracy from here. I just unlocked the elemental damage plus 2%, right? It's not going to be a ton of a difference, just unlocked it. Might help me kill it a little bit faster, but you really want to have enough accuracy, which is 300 that we need. So we take from that 50, you need around 250. And then with the 40 from Aura, we need around 210. So for example, Ogok has 171. I'm a little bit short, right? But still, like, you know, Vinyara has good enough, and then Sheena has good enough. But for Ogok, you really want to try and have some accuracy so that he can try and land this attack penalty on his battle skill. And then as much enlightenment as possible to make sure he does some healing. But let's have a look at how this team goes. It's pretty much relying on keeping the boss controlled and removing his buffs, but there is going to be a layer of RNG, because unfortunately the way the buffs and debuffs work in the game, it doesn't matter if you have enough accuracy to land your debuffs or if you have enough resistance to resist having debuffs landing on you. There's still always going to be a 3% chance that it's not going to happen, that things are going to go south, right? But if all goes well, which, you know, looks and it should, then this team should be pretty easy and should be, you know, not too difficult to be killing this boss. Now, obviously, it's not the high stage, right? The stage 4 still, but still, considering the fact that I'm using level 79 heroes, I think that this is doing pretty good, right? It's doing pretty good. Again, do keep in mind I don't have Beldel's exclusive artifact, right? I just have the Blooms of Prina, which is the Ice Blast exclusive. So this could be made and this could be improved to be so much better. Still, I think doing this in 49 seconds is pretty good. Okay, let me see what did I get. Accuracy, okay, I'll take an accuracy one. That's, you know, legendary plus in the Puppeteer's Inspiration is really good. This one attack per se maybe? No, flat HP. Okay, this one's gonna be mad. But still, as you can see, I beat it. It was, you know, pretty easy to do as long as I had the right timings and everything. But let me show you the skill timings, and then I'm going to back out. I'm going to remind you to be using those crystals to get yourself better rewards. So when it comes to skill timings, I have Zorak at 11, 11.1, Sheena, and 12.5 for my Beldel. For Ogok, honestly, I just let him go full YOLO, right? It looks pretty good. It was pretty fine. He just lands some extra attack penalty. He brings some extra healing. That's all he is in there to do. And then for Vinyara, same thing, full YOLO. Just for Vinyara, I'm going to show you, make sure you push as much skill haste as you possibly can, so she can do the ultimate twice before the boss gets a turn. Now, do keep in mind, this team might not work in a few days or in a week when the challenge changes, right? Because sometimes during those challenges, the boss's kind of like side buff says that the more buffs the boss has, the more skill, the faster it regenerates the ultimate. If that's gonna be the case, you're gonna see that we're not gonna quite hit the boss with Vinyara in time to remove the buffs, unless obviously by that time we hit level 100, we get negative runes, more skill haste and all of that. Also, the familiar is the one with vulnerability that I'm using. Now this one should have made the timing, instead of being 10, I should make it 9, right? And then every 18, because it's at 9, takes it 2 seconds to land, and then it means at 11, he's gonna be landing that vulnerability. So at 11, everybody starting hitting, right? Zorak, Sheena, and then Beldel will be taking the maximum advantage of that vulnerability. If we leave him at 8, we're missing out on 1 second of the damage. Doesn't sound like a lot, but considering the fact that this one is gonna be on the boss only for 8 seconds, you wanna have as much uptime of it as possible. So that's worth keeping in mind. Now let's back out and let's have a look at the, like I said, let's have a look at the buffs. So firstly, the ones that I'm using, number 1, rotation. You wanna make sure that you have this one as high upgrade as possible. That's what I'm using. And then to pair with that, I'm using the luck one, right? Increases the chance to have, 15% more in battle, right? When triggers the first time, all drops in battle increase by 15%. It's just guaranteed, right? It's not a chance, it's guaranteed for the first time if this one procs. But that's kind of like the number 1 that is easy to get because you can get from the chests. Everything else, we're going to try and aim for the future to try and get better stuff. But for example, the ones that trigger it, I personally believe the best one's going to be this one that says triggers 1 every 30% the boss's max HP dealt as damage by allies. So when the boss drops 30%, it triggers. When it drops again 30%, it triggers. So it's definitely worth trying to do this in order to get yourself some good stuff in there. Then the other one, I'm using the one for ultimates cast because we'll be casting a lot. And the last one's gonna be for the buffs that we grant. If you're gonna have a buff heavy team, go with this. If you're gonna have a debuff heavy team, go with that. And then the other ones, I just put this to do more damage, this one to get some shields, and then this one to reduce damage taken. Now, the reality is, like I said, I would aim for something else, just we don't have that many options. Just make sure you add them. But let's go ahead and have a look at our at the builds, right? The builds that I have on the people, the talents, and everything that you need to know. And again, keep in mind what I'm going to tell you from now. Vinyara is going to need to have a little bit of skill haste. It's not going to be a ton because we're level 79. We're still, lots to improve, but still, it's going to be pretty achievable with what I'm going to show you. So this is what I went for Vinyara. Honestly, nothing at the end would really make that much sense. Maybe this one could help, but not really, because this one says that whenever inflicting a negative effect, reduce ultimate energy. She already depletes it by 100%, so this one's not gonna help at all. So you don't even care, honestly, the last one. Then for Ogok, make sure you take the enhanced protection, and also you can take eternal insight because he's gonna be doing a few healings, and every second healing that he does, he's gonna put a shield. You're gonna pair that with a default prayer piece. Then these are gonna be the talents for Sheena. Obviously, there's gonna be the ones for Beldel, best ones for her. And then this is gonna be Zorak. Now let's have a look at the build. So start with Vinyara, like I mentioned. She's gonna be having, as you can see, 51 skill haste, plus she's gonna be wearing the Rift Hourglass, which is gonna give her another 90. Now the way that I did it is, I just gave her whichever gave me the most skill haste from the positive runes, even though it's a really bad one, because Enlightenment, crit damage doesn't really help us. She needs to be tanky, but still I just went with that. Then I completed 2 pieces of Emissary's Whisper with an accuracy main stat, and then 2 pieces of Gem's Inspiration. Again, 20 skill haste and then 20 skill haste, right? You kind of get the gist. Get as much skill haste as possible so she can rotate her ultimate as often as possible as well. Then if you look at Ogok, Ogok is going to be wearing my trusty Brotherhood Spirit set, right? This one's going to be giving me 15% more damage every time we do the ultimate. Then, like I mentioned, he's going to have a Devout Prayer piece, because every second healing he does, he can place a shield, which means we're going to do more damage. And then he's also going to be wearing the Golden Antlers, which means the boss will take more damage. This is extremely helpful. Make sure you get enough accuracy on him to land his stuff, and then try and push as much Enlightenment as possible so he has bigger healings. Then, if you look at Sheena, she's going to be wearing the Witch's Remains. Then she's going to be in a 3-piece Forbidden Aegis, focused on having enough accuracy to land the debuffs and then as much damage as possible. Then we're gonna look at Zorak. Zorak is gonna be running a Puppeteer's Inspiration, and then, attack percent over here. You'd prefer attack percent here, I guess. If you had one, I just don't, so I just went with a Crit Rate Glove in the Puppeteer's Inspiration, and then I gave him the Downpipe Organ as it's gonna increase his attack, Sheena's attack, and then also Ogok's. And in the future, honestly, this is gonna be even better, because if you have a Bloodshade Mark piece, than on Beldel, then that's going to help because Beldel's going to have more attack. So this just makes the most sense. And then if you look at Beldel, since we're talking about her, she runs Blooms of Prina. Like I mentioned, I don't have her exclusive artifact, so I'm just running with this and it works just fine. Then I have a Fearless Challenge piece, right, that I brought over from the previous season because, you know, it can help. Obviously, if you don't have this one, make a three-piece set, or just if you have a Bloodshed mark, go ahead and put a Bloodshed mark on them and it should work. A really bad crit rate glove in Strike and Prepared, but gets the job done. And then 2 pieces of Forbidden Ages, right? Just completing that as much crit rate as I can get. Maybe this one, again, this one's a mistake. I should have just put this piece on. I have this quad crit rate one. You know, I'm gonna get more, I'm gonna be getting myself more crit damage from converting the crit rate when we are at max stacks. But that pretty much is the theme, right? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and it's, you know, it worked just fine for me, and hopefully it works for you as well. But I guess I'm gonna be testing out some of the next ones. Keep an eye on the channel. I'm gonna be trying to releasing more of these. But the reality is, I think, when is it? Okay, 3 days. So we still got 3 days up until we can unlock higher levels. So maybe in the next few days, I'm going to try and see if I can get Rot to stage 4 and then try and see if I can get Venom to stage 4 of the challenges. And if I do that, I'm going to come back with a video. One other thing that I did that was really fun was part of the Fallen Shadow Spire. You might have seen yesterday's video with the best team being the rally one. I actually managed to beat it with Shadow as well, but it's not relatable at all because I have an Inspired to Ozul with, you know, exclusive artifact, Inspired for Aspalta and all that. But if you want me to make a video on this, just let me know in the comments down below as well, and I'm gonna make a video. But we're gonna leave it at this for now. Thank you for watching. As always, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next, and I guess I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.